All right. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, girl, hey. I'm Marie Danae. I'm the creator of the Curvy Fashionista. Welcome back to Speaking of Curves. Everything has aligned perfectly because I'm here on a Tuesday. Past couple of Tuesdays didn't really work out, but now we're here on a Tuesday, and we have an uber special guest. I've been trying to get her on our Facebook Live series for a minute. As you guys are joining in, make sure you say, hey, girl, hey. Let us know where you're tuning in from. As you are joining in, make sure you ask questions because we can see them and we want to make sure we answer your questions. Now, today's special guest, I've known her, I want to say about 10 or 11 years, right? Yeah. So for the past 10 and 11 years, we go back and forth talking industry, business. We help each other kind of like kick ourselves out of our little like moments when we're kind of confused. But she's extremely dear to me. So help me welcome Miss Jasmine Elder, the designer behind Jibri. Hello, Jasmine.
Hello, Marie and guest. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so geeked to have you on here. Like, for me, I'm always like, you gotta come on, you gotta talk. We gotta have some fun. But as we get started, like you have some really dope news to share. Of a project that you had participated in that just dropped today. Can you talk to us like a little bit about this project and what I'm alluding to?
Oh, okay. Well, what she's alluding to is one of a dress from Jibri was used in a painting of Breonna Taylor on the cover of September's issue of Vanity Fair. And it's the digital drop yesterday. Today's the physical drop.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys caught that. Like today, like I shared it on Twitter. The cover of Vanity Fair is an image that's dedicated to Breonna Taylor. It was created by an artist. She painted it. It was painted?
Yes, by Amy Sherald.
Right. By Amy Sherald. It was a painting, and they had commissioned Jasmine, to create the dress that she could then illustrate for Breonna. That is like, such an amazing honor to be, recognized and to be pulled into this. Like for you, you had a special connection with this. Like tell us a little bit about this process, because making a dress for someone like Breonna, for everything that's going on, like how important was this for you?
It was mostly unbelievable that they were even reaching out to me, honestly. And because they didn't have to, but again, Amy Sherald, I can't give her enough praise. She was dedicated to working with an all black team basically, and she wanted to make sure that the designer was black and the designer was actually plus size, something that Breonna could actually wear.
And for you, were you nervous? Like, were you excited? Like,
absolutely.
Like, so absolutely. Did you like, how did you decide like what piece to make for her? Like, how did you know?
It was really, honestly, it was very quick. I only had one day to make a decision. Are you getting weird feedback from me?
No.
Oh, okay, good. So I was leaving my shop one night, and I got an email when the title said Vanity Fair cover. The subject said Vanity Fair cover. And I get emails asking for stuff all the time, but none that say Vanity Fair cover.
Yo.
So, right.
Holy hell.
Right. So I opened the email and it was saying, hey, it didn't say what it was for. She said, I'm working on a cover. I'm a painter and I'm painting something and I want to use one of your dresses. Call me if you're interested. So of course I called her. And right. Of course I called her, and she was very matter of fact about what it was. She just said it's okay, everything's very confidential. It's for the September issue of Vanity Fair. I'm a painter, and I honestly, she was so confident. I don't think I've ever spoken to anyone who was just so like very matter of fact about whoever just said that Angela, that is exactly who she is. But I didn't know that at the time. And it made me Google her right away, like while we were talking. I said, who is this lady? So the name sounded familiar, but I wasn't 100% sure who she was when I Googled it. And of course, the first thing that popped up was the painting of Michelle Obama. It's in the Smithsonian. I said, oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Like, I mean, it was already.
Did you like freak out? Because I probably would have gotten chills. I would have been like, yeah. Oh my God.
It was amazing. Like, even though Vanity Fair was impressive, like I was even more impressed to be working with her. And so I just listened. I'm a talker, but in this case, I just listened. I let her tell me exactly what it was, what did she need, and then she told me, well, I asked her who it was for, like who was the subject, and she said Breonna Taylor, and I literally stopped again and like I honestly had to think for a second because I was like, she's not talking about Breonna Taylor, who has been murdered. And she was. And she said, yes, I'm going to paint her. I want to get your dress. We're going to put it on a double. And then I'm going to paint it to be her. And I said, oh my God. Like, so it just took on a whole different weight for me at that point.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so I'm sorry. So she told me, basically she had a short turnaround time, so she needed to get the garments relatively quickly. She told me about what kind of print she liked, what type of fabric, and she already liked the dresses, so she told me she loved the detail. And this was a time where my prints weren't the star, so I'm thinking, oh, her paintings are always so colorful. She's gonna want something with all this print in it, but she said, no, I have a very short turnaround time, so I really want something where the dress has a lot of movement and like I want to see some life in the pleating and all that kind of thing. Things that I think about when I design, but I never really hear anybody ever talk about the elements of my garments in that manner before. But for her, that's what she was looking for. So I sent her a box of garments the very next day, about maybe 5 or 10 pieces to choose from, and she selected that one. She sent me a picture of it on the body. Like another thing about her, and I'm really, like I said, I am more of a fan of Amy at this point than it's just been a completely different experience for me. I've done magazines before. I've never done a cover before, of course, but like working with her, it gave me a sense of dignity that I had never experienced with working with any fashion magazine ever before. But she really kept me included, which she didn't have to. Usually someone says, oh, can I borrow a dress? And I'll send them the dress and I never hear anything else again. And then one day I'm in the grocery store and it's in this magazine. But
Right.
this wasn't like that at all. She was very transparent about everything. She talked to me about who the model was going to be. She showed me what the girl looked like in it. She asked me, was it okay? Like we needed to put a little more skin in there, a little slit for Brianna, because my split was a little short, a little higher. I mean, lower than it would have been on a 26-year-old. And she told me what her mother said about, some of the pieces I sent were just not things that Brianna would have worn in her real life. Like she sent me some images of her, like off of her cell phone, and
So you
she
saw
had all
her with her mom?
well through Amy, but yes, they were
Okay.
texts from her mom. So they were like, her little Fashion Nova dress, and which was really heartwarming because it really made you realize like this was a very young girl. She hadn't had a chance to develop her fashion sense yet, or not that fashion sense matters, but I'm just saying she
She
was
was
just
kind of
a
coming into
young,
her own.
she was coming into her own as a woman. And of course that was all taken from her. And so yeah, she kept me abreast on all of that. She sent me when she started painting, I got to see what that looked like. I got to really see the process. And when she finished it, I got to see that. And so I knew what the cover was going to be before it actually came out. I just didn't know exactly when. And, with so many rules about confidentiality and stuff like that, again, things I'd never experienced before. So it was the experience, the actual technical experience was extremely, um, hey, Miss Nikki, thank you. Um, the technical experience was something I had not experienced before. I had never been that involved in the process and seen what really goes behind doing something like this. And I really appreciate that.
I'm like, we are just like so excited for you in being part of this like monumental memorial to her. Like
Right.
this is like historical for you. This is like a hopefully you'll get like a physical copy. If you guys
Oh,
are just
absolutely.
joining
Yeah.
us, if you're just joining us, we're here with Jibri of with Jasmine of Jibri, and she's actually talking with us about her process in participating in the Vanity Fair cover painted by Amy Shared. Is it Shared?
Cheryl.
Cheryl, Amy
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl, who painted Michelle Obama's dress.
Mm-hmm.
In this, and they used a dress from Jibri to
Mm-hmm.
honor Breonna Taylor. And I'm just so excited and grateful to you for like, that you were part of this process because
Mm-hmm.
some people everyone's still discovering all the different designers, all the different resources
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
plus size fashion. And for
Mm-hmm.
those who aren't aware of you and Jibri, like, you are the consummate contemporary plus size designer. Like, you've been around, what, 15, no, 20
I've
almost.
been not quite. I've been around. I've celebrated I'll be going up on 12 years of business, but not, it's been about 15 years of, me doing it and not selling a single button.
Right,
But I've
right,
been obviously designing my whole life. So yeah, I've been,
right,
a part of this industry it's been many years, many
right.
years.
And
Hmm.
and when it comes to contemporary, I want to pivot a little bit, because when it comes to contemporary is a space that, I want to say, prior to you, there were hardly, if any, contemporary designers. Like, we have designers, we have high-end designers, we have all, like the ASOS Forever 21, the fast fashion. But when it comes to contemporary, how would you best describe it for the plus size person? Because there's still people who are just getting introduced to this space of contemporary plus size
Hmm.
fashion. And
Right.
for them, they don't understand, like, the average cocktail dress in straight sizes costs $300. That's the average cocktail dress. So for
Hmm.
you, like, you come with a very pointed eye, a very elevated level with fabric construction. Talk to us a little bit about what contemporary means.
Um, that's a good question. Actually, one that I don't think about on a regular basis. I would say for me, um, where I think I fit into that space is I try to offer a effortless an effortlessly glamorous option for everyday glam, plus size women, where it's not a special occasion, it's not a um, birthday party or something. Not that you can't wear them to those things, but I wanted it to be for women who have this sense of glamour in their everyday life and something that's effortless. So it's not necessarily sent to the gods. It's maybe more relaxed. Definitely, sometimes I'll read people talking about my garments, and it's eye opening that it's even seen like that. I've read people say things about like how I'm not afraid to take up space, or the patterns, or they'll it wouldn't be offensive words, but like I never thought of that. I never ever in a million years that wasn't my intention. But when I look at it now, I look at it and it's got a new definition in my head every time I see some of the pieces now, for sure.
And when it comes to, you're also introducing folks to a different price point.
Hmm.
That, you were kind of pioneering, like, giving us our own plus size version of a Marc Jacobs, Diane von Furstenberg, um, Cynthia Steffi, all these contemporary designers that are straight size,
Hmm.
but you are giving it to us in plus. And so for this journey, it's been a little bit of an educational process, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, for both the
Absolutely.
consumer and yourself, right?
Absolutely, because I didn't really know who my customer really was when I started. I was my customer, and I knew that I had to have something to wear to work that I felt comfortable in, and it was, daily people would comment on my clothes every single day, and I'm like, maybe it's not just me. I mean, I was a little bit of a weirdo early in my life, probably still a little strange now, but I guess around that time they were starting to change from costumes, which I was a costume designer. It started to change from costume to more wearable fashions. And so just I didn't have it all together. I didn't really know how to construct it perfectly. Fabrics weren't the right ones yet. I did a lot of satin when I started out, lots of satin. And so I started to change it to more daily use, and I realized that it really fit my personality.
Okay.
And then I discovered this entire um, community of women who were absolutely looking for the exact same thing.
And so, as for the you guys who are just joining us, we are talking with Jasmine, the designer behind Jibri, and we're talking about her Vanity Fair cover. We're talking about her, kind of foray into contemporary plus size fashion. And so, Jasmine, I'm curious, like, what do you think that's an element that has not changed, like, from when you started to today? Because we've all evolved, but there's always a core piece that stays the same. What is that for you?
I still think that it's a part of the glam and a part of the effortlessness. I try to always make it something that's accessible. I didn't want it to. I wanted plus women to be pulled into the fantasy of fashion, but into their everyday world. And I think though things have evolved, I think I always had that there. That was something that it was just a part of who I am.
And
I'm
I
sorry.
think, yes, okay. I think one of the things that also is very that's very key about you is the fabric. Your fabric
Absolutely.
is always top notch.
Yeah, I love fabric. I am
Yeah,
a
like
fabric. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
thing.
talk about a little bit about your process because some people don't know that you hand paint some of these
Oh,
fabrics.
right. Well, basically, I've been creating garments ever since I was a teenager, and of course, you start in those type of situations. You start with what you have. Um, and I didn't always have access to some of the fabrics I have access to now, so I did a lot of hand fabrication, and it's transferred into my career even to this point. Sometimes I kind of, I don't know if I should have put that online because then I am painting. It might take I can paint for 2 or 3 weeks or hand bead or hand feather or something like that. But I do love creating textiles. One day I hope to be able to have my own textiles manufactured.
Oh, girl, from your lips to God ears, because that would be
Yeah,
amazing for you.
yeah, I would love that.
I still have this dress, and to this very day, I got it in 2009. So just to
Hmm.
kind of give you guys like a
Hmm.
perspective in terms of quality, longevity, timelessness, I have this white dress from you. It's a
Oh,
crinkle cotton
yeah.
dress, and it's peplum. And
Hmm.
I got it in 2009, y'all. And to this
Hmm.
very day, it is still like brand new. And
Hmm.
I'm able to put it in the washer and dryer. I mean,
Yeah.
probably not supposed to, but I do.
Right. Right.
But
I always recommend.
it still works though. It's still like
Hmm.
brand new. Plus, I probably am like washing it really nicely, right?
Which is, I always tell people to dry clean, but if you know how to take care of your clothes, you can absolutely wash it. You can. And that particular dress, that was hand pleated, that fabric. That was, so I'm glad to hear that 10, 11 years later it's still in prime condition because I took regular, I can't remember, it was a cotton, it was a
Like a
jersey,
light,
but
like a
it
yeah,
was, yeah, it was
yours
it was a
cotton.
light jersey, and I folded it and knotted it and did all this stuff to it to create the texture so that was a hand fabricated piece that you have.
Girl, and she's still cute, and and because
Hmm.
of the way that it's stretched, like I'm still able to fit it.
Oh yes, that's great. So yeah, that's good. I like to hear that.
But like, it's important because, when we talk about like, especially now with the Rona and in this midst of the pandemic, a lot of people are being more intentional about their clothing choices, right?
Right. Hmm.
Some people are moving away from the fast fashion. They're paying more attention to ethical, to sustainable, to pieces that are going to last a
Right.
lot longer in their
Hmm.
life. They're kind of paring down, being more intentional in what they buy.
Right.
And your brand kind of fits in the spaces of, one, ethically made.
Hmm.
Two, like you're really paying attention to pieces that you create garments that last
Hmm.
forever. Like,
Hmm.
am I lying?
I hope not.
Well, I mean, like there's comments here. This one, so Pepper said my pink polka dot dress is still
Oh, hey
popping.
Pepper, great. I love to hear it. That's what I do it for that reason. I don't want it to be something that you have to get rid of in a year.
Right.
I want it to be there for a long time.
And I hate that. I hate like it's all limited. And,
Hmm.
like I hate when I buy something and I love it and then, it disappears. Like it falls apart and then I can't find it
Hmm.
again. And then so for me, I have learned like I'll spend a little bit more on the pieces that I love so that they
Hmm.
have more longevity. Now,
Absolutely.
when it comes to, I mentioned COVID and I mentioned the Rona, like as an indie designer,
Hmm.
how has this impacted? For some, it's boosted. For
Hmm.
some, they've had to hard pivot.
Hmm.
How has it affected you?
I think I would fall into both of those categories. I did a quick pivot. I transformed my spring collection immediately to a loungewear. So I started doing loungewear back in March. And also,
And we loved it. I shared it. Yep.
thank you. And yes, it has been a great increase in just visibility. I don't think it was necessarily the Rona. It was also just people being home more, sharing more. Of course, the influx of people wanting to do business with Black owned companies that was absolutely a a spike for me because I'm in a niche market. So if you're looking for this specific category, I was pretty much in a lot of those lists. And I thank everyone for sharing that and mentioning me in lots of those Instagram posts because that really, as a matter of fact, that's how the artist found me for the Vanity Fair. It was from one
Oh,
of those
that's
lists.
amazing.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I have to pause there for a second. So even if you can't, even if you have to save up to kind of invest in a piece, like if you're not used to, just by sharing and promoting other small businesses, like this,
Yeah.
those actions actually literally helped Jasmine get this opportunity with Vanity Fair and Amy Shield.
Cheryl.
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 Why can't I say her last name? But
I don't know.
but it's important that we support our indies. We support because a share, a like, a comment is free,
Right.
and
And
that
very
opens
helpful.
doors. You
I
said
didn't even realize. Oh my goodness! Like it was overwhelming. It was I didn't even realize that I had so many people that were even aware of me that were not actual my because a lot of my clients I know their names because I see them all the time. It's a lot of regulars, but the shares were it was tremendous. I can't even think of another word. It was all day for days and days and days and days and days. And I was just very overwhelmed and very thankful for that. So I appreciate that.
awesome. Kimberly said, "I absolutely love your line of clothes. You are
Thank
great. I
you.
don't have one yet, but I will make this investment soon."
Hi, Kimberly. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Hey, and it's definitely, for me, anytime that I get something, like I always try to make sure that I can wear it like 5 different ways. And with
Right.
your pieces, you give us the different ways that you'll actually share some of your images on Instagram from like, and show different ways that folks have worn it. And you
Hmm.
also share the customers who wear it.
Absolutely.
And that kind of like for me, I appreciate that because it helps show the
Hmm.
versatility of your looks.
Right.
Because you
I
can
agree.
easily go from like rich auntie to like power CEO with the switch of
Absolutely.
accessories.
And those are the brunt of my clients are definitely power women that are not necessarily walking around in 10-inch heels and I don't know full beats of makeup and stuff. So I love when they send pictures and I get to see in their natural lives.
And then for you, like when you said you were kind of like pivoting and you also got a boost, like what else did you do aside from shifting to loungewear? Did you jump in on the masks as well?
I did mask, and it was under duress because people kept asking about the mask, the mask, the mask, the mask. And I mean, I wish that it wasn't so messy in here. I could show you my warehouse. I have a quadrillion yards of fabric. So if
A
everyone,
trillion.
literally a quadrillion. So what I was not in shortage of was fabric to make masks, and they were very affordable. I did them at $10, and again, this was a space where it was unbelievable the support that I got there, which was people who may not actually have any Jibri garments, people who may not even fit my clothes, men, people from all different backgrounds were just ordering these masks like crazy. And, they're washable and at that time we were in a shortage. And then I did a lot of donations as well. So I did lots of donations to hospitals. I did schools, which I don't know why they needed them now that I just said it out loud, but I did. And I sent some to prisons. I did the postal workers. So it was like it was it felt meaningful as well.
That's awesome. And
Hmm.
so like now you have this cover, you dropped loungewear, you have a masks. You
I've
also
added jewelry.
I was just about to say, you also introduced accessories with
Hmm.
jewelry and it
Yeah.
like sells out the second it drops. Like for those
Yeah.
that don't know about your jewelry, like talk to us about what jewelry you offer.
So I'm not designing. I have designed some jewelry pieces. And I am a garment constructor, so I learned very quickly that like jewelry construction has to be done a little bit differently. So what I ended up doing was just curating a collection of like some of my favorite pieces. And again, this is an offer for people that are not necessarily ready to purchase some of my garments. You can still get a piece of Jibri through the curated jewelry that I use in all of my photo shoots. It's a part of my regular life. It's a part of the lives of most of my normal clients. You know, their everyday rings, things you're gonna wear all the time, or earrings, hoops. You know, I'm a hoop girl. Been wearing hoops since I was probably like 13 years old every single day. So to get some different silhouettes of hoops with different textures and stuff, it's just fun. And again, I know we're all sitting in the house and I'm not as social as we used to be, and it feels good to have a little something sparkly on, at home.
And for those who don't know, I just posted the URL, but can you tell them like where they can shop your collection and follow you on social?
Oh, sure. My website is Jibri Online, and that's JIB as in boy RI online, one word, .com. And Jibri Online is my tag on all social platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I don't talk much on Twitter, so but
You got
I do
you
have
got to
Twitter.
join the conversation. Twitter's popping, sis.
I know. I always I get the notifications whenever I come up in a conversation, and I was trying to figure out how to look at the comments the other day, and I said, okay, I'm gonna have to Google that, how to do it. The conversations are great conversations. Again, I just picked up a new TV show, and I know it came from Twitter because I saw. I think you were in the conversation. Someone must have asked something about a higher end plus garment or something, and it was this
Oh, yes,
long
it's
list.
Natasha Rothwell. She just asked Natasha
Yeah.
from
Mhm.
Insecure asked about some
Mhm.
cap stands, and I,
Mhm.
and I mentioned you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're
And so that ended up flipping around, and then a person from a show contacted me like the day, and she mentioned the Twitter feed. So I was like,
Oh
oh,
wow.
yeah. Again, they're
See,
just talking. It helps.
well, I was going to say, so like for our indie
Mhm.
designers, and especially now during the Rona, like, could you give some tips to the everyday shopper, like how we can support these indies and yourself, especially to ensure that y'all make it through this?
I think like you said something earlier. You said people were starting to move away from fast fashion, and I think that's more of like that's a internal decision that people are making, not necessarily to keep indies going, but just realizing that like we need to create some of our own things here to keep jobs going here and stuff like that. So with indies, a lot of people are not they're not used to the influx of sales. Because I can say, even myself, who I have a very regular flow of clients, those masks almost took me out. They almost took me out um, because it was just so much. And I honestly, it's funny, didn't even really make much because I started to do UPS instead of, and I did it all for free. The shipping was all free because UPS could come and pick the stuff up. I didn't have to worry about going there. But there's lots of people that don't have that option. And they're doing the best they can. So I think with indies, I need you guys got to be a little bit more patient. Just I see it all the time, seeing people kind of going crazy on, oh, I ordered a swimsuit and it's taking a month, and it's like if this person normally had two customers a month and now they have 20 customers, it's
Right.
gonna take a little more time.
Danielle said, I remember seeing Jibri on Reddit and Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce.
Oh yeah.
My indie brands show up on my screen.
Yeah. That one was one of those when they say manifestations, because I love Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, and I remember watching it and loving the wardrobe. I love the show, but the wardrobe pulled me into it, and I said, wow, I sure do wish they would get a plus size girl on this show. I would love to dress someone for this show. And I mean, I'm not kidding you. It was like 2 weeks later I got contacted by, and I just said it to myself. It was just like just a out, a thought to myself. So
Well,
because I
thank
loved
you.
their wardrobe was awesome. I really loved working with those guys.
Well, I mean, oh my gosh, like, so I'm so excited for you because I know you got more stuff coming up.
Mhm.
When are you gonna have a fall collection drop soon?
I am gonna have a fall collection. I am in here making two sets of things because I'm trying to decide, what world are we gonna go with, where we are, where we wish we
Right.
were, so, I'll make a decision on that soon.
And for those of you guys who, are curious, like, don't worry, because as we usually do, we will drop her collection. Once, like, we will recap and share with you our favorite picks and the images and the lookbook images for y'all, and when you can shop the collection. I just want to say thank you so much, Jasmine, for taking your time out. Congratulations again on the Vanity Fair cover.
Thank you.
That is amazing. I'm really happy for you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like, we've hit it's already 30 minutes. Like, can you believe it? Like, we've already hit
wow.
Right?
It's gone by really fast. It went by really fast. It really did.
And if you guys just tuned in, it's okay. You guys can rewind and catch from the beginning. But we were here with the designer behind Jibri, Jasmine Elder. And with Speaking of Curves, we do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 a.m. on the West Coast, right? And we come back every Tuesday and Thursday, meeting with a different designer, business owner, influencer, creator, and talking about how we're able to support a small business, especially now through COVID, through the pandemic, to ensure that we still have them there afterwards. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Marie Dene, the creator of The Curvy Fashionista, your plus-size fashion resource destination, and we'll catch you guys on Thursday. Bye.
Bye-bye.